It did not go well yesterday for the acting Secret Service director, and Chuck Grassley really focused on him and what went wrong and what happened to the communication and what are we going to do now. The Iowa senator, kind enough to join us. Senator, you gave a textbook lesson in just how you grill these guys, and I commend you for that, but we're not getting very many clear answers, particularly on this issue of people communicating and all being on the same page for a presidential or presidential candidate visit. This has happened time and again, going back to 9/11, January 6th, time and again. It's happened again. What do we make of that?
Well, I think, first of all, you got a lot of finger pointing that ought to end. And she said, he said, these sort of things aren't very worthwhile to spend your time on. Got to get to the bottom of it. And this is cooperation between local law enforcement and Secret Service. The Secret Service is in charge. And, you know, I've been told, and I think now the public knows, that the Secret Service was not keeping in touch with local law enforcement, and they're leaving some assumptions that they were leaving certain responsibilities to local law enforcement without even communicating with local law enforcement. And I think I made this all very clear about the reluctance of the federal government to be transparent on this, because I got video from local law enforcement before the FBI got it, and within a short period of time, I made it available to the entire public, and the entire public's got all the information that I have, and I think that's more than what the FBI and the Secret Service has put out.
Yeah, we're showing some of that video, Senator, and touche for you allowing that, because it did at least show some transparency on the part of someone in government to try to find transparency. There is a knee-jerk reaction, though, among government institutions generally to withhold this kind of stuff, to hold back on this kind of stuff. Why?
Because it's embarrassing to them. Just think, we still got questions 60 years later about JFK's assassination. This stuff should be out just as fast as it can be put out to the public. And I think we had the Secret Service yesterday in the hearing tell us that they were going to be more transparent, but when they don't answer all the questions and when they don't put all the information out, then it raises these questions. And I believe in transparency in government, because without transparency, you don't get accountability, and the public's business ought to be public. And for the most part, most of what the Secret Service does, except their secrets on protecting the President of the United States and candidates, ought to be made public.
What about future rallies? Donald Trump wants to continue with the outdoor rallies, the Secret Service advising against it. Candidates generally love to meet with people, and that's something that's more hospitable or more advantageous in a large outdoor crowd. Do you feel comfortable, as things stand now, Senator, for a return to outdoor rallies?
I think that the candidate ought to make that decision. The campaign ought to make that decision, and particularly a candidate for office like Mr. Trump is. He knows how dangerous it is, and if he wants to do outside campaign events, he ought to be able to do it, and the FBI has to take the responsibility of seeing he's adequately protected. In other words, they got to look at all the mistakes that were made in Butler, Pennsylvania on July the 13th, and make sure those mistakes are not made again.
So if he wants it, is the Secret Service, as it stands now, up to delivering it?
I think for the most part, the Secret Service is up to delivering if they got the proper leadership at the top. And I think you could see from the person that has now resigned as director, and she wasn't able to answer the questions. She wasn't on top of this event the way she should have been. And that's why I have put in a piece of legislation to make sure that the director of the Secret Service is confirmed by the United States Senate. It never has been. And instead of the President of the United States and his people vetting the Secret Service director, I think it'd be better if we had more people vet it and get stronger leadership and leadership that's not maybe so politically directed.
Senator Grassley, thank you very much for taking time. We appreciate it.
God bless you. Goodbye.